Kingdom Explained, where we talk about everything that is Kingdom. Make sure you subscribe and hit the bell so you can be notified for more content on this channel. On this video, I'll be doing an overview on the character known as Ouhon, a general of Quinn. The character is based on a real historical figure named Wang Bin. Here will be information that could spoil the manga and the anime, so you have been warned. Wang Bin is an important general in Quinn's unification of China. It is not an exaggeration to say that the Qin Empire was built by the Wang family, Wang Jian and Wang Bin. In the 21st year of Yin Zhang's reign, Wang Bin attacked Jing, a castle of Chu. In the 22nd year, Wang Bin attacked Wei. He directed the river water into the Wei capital of Dai Liang and flooded it. The king of Wei surrendered and the remaining lands of Wei were handed over to Qin. In the 25th year of his reign, General Wang Bin led a large army to attack Liaodong region of Yan, capturing King Shi of Yan. Later, he led the same army to invade Dai, a new state founded by the crown prince of the now non-existent Zhao, capturing King Zhao of Dai. In the 26th year of King Zhang's rule, King Jian of Qi and his prime minister Ho Xing stationed the Qi army near their western border to stop the Qin army. Instead of fighting the Qi army head-on, the king of Qin commanded Wang Bin to invade Qi from the southern border of the old Yan state, capturing the king Jian of Qi. After the unification, the king of Qin declared himself the emperor, rewarding Wang Bin with the title of Count Tong Wu. Now let's get into the character from Kingdom. Ouhon is the general of Qin and the leader of the Gyoi-Ko Hoi army. He is the heir to the Ou family's main branch, the son of great general Ouhon, and a relative to the late great general Oki. Ouhon wears a full body armor that is quite similar to that of the other soldiers. His front armor has the design of the head of a dragon, while his metal shoulder pads have the design of a phoenix on them. Ouhon keeps his long hair tied up, kept in place by a metal hairband. Born after his mother died during childbirth, Ouhon would be raised in the Ou family's main estate and was looked after by Banyu, an old aide of the family, who would eventually become his future right-hand man and possibly a father figure. Despite his talent, his father Ouhon treats him in a cold manner, supposedly because of rumors that he is not his actual son and his mother Shuke cheated on him. When he first started taking up the spear, in a rare occurrence, his father Ouhon told him that the basics started from the center of his right half, probably doing it on a whim. To Ouhon, it was of the first time he actually saw his powerful father interact and exchange words with him. It was on that day forward that Ouhon's training truly begun, as he would relentlessly train even when the weather was harsh and his palms were sore or bled. He started training in military warfare from a young age, and when he was introduced, he had already managed to become a 300-man commander at a relatively young age. Now let's talk about his personality. When he first appeared, Ouhon looked down on anyone who does not belong to the noble caste. Although he appreciates the idea of having commoners fighting wars, he does not appreciate them being on the same level as him or any other nobles. A no-nonsense and serious person by nature, Ouhon takes pride in being a commander in the army, bordering on arrogance. He possesses a deep desire to become a great general of the heavens and describes it as his duty and obligation as the heir of the main branch of the Ou family. Being the successor to the Ou family, he cuts himself no slack as he attempts to practice with his spear. This resolve started from a young age when he practiced and trained tirelessly despite being naturally gifted. Even when he was wounded by Rinko, he still practiced his daily routine. When they first met, Ouhon held a great amount of disdain against Shin because he thought the likes of him should not have become a 300-man commander due to his low social status and background. In the Chiyoyu campaign, he still didn't acknowledge Shin's skill, although he had probably noticed the powerful strength of the new High Shin unit. But he later gains more trust in them and even leaves them with important tasks instead of always competing for achievements. Now let's talk about his physical abilities. He is a master spearman. Since his first appearance, Ouhon has demonstrated his prowess and exceptional skill as a spear user who has been training with the weapon since he was a child. His superior skill is seen in how he easily kills multiple men with lethal spear thrusts to their vital points, and this is done in such a speed that enemies are given little time to react. The nature of his spear emphasizes accuracy to be able to punch through at a single point. Because of that, Moten comments that even a dozen men couldn't get anywhere near him with his deadly spear technique. Ouhon was trained from the foundation up in the orthodox spear technique. In this spear technique, there exists countless different forms to be used against opponents. Defense, counter, offense, forms devised for different effects. However, to properly utilize these forms in actual combat will require extraordinary amounts of training and experience. Ouhon was able to demonstrate this in the final duel with Earl Shi and slay the great general by exploiting his weakness. At the time of battle at Shukai Plains, Ouhon's spearmanship has greatly improved. This was shown when he matched Bananji in a brief duel and later crippled and killed a powerful veteran, General Gyun. Banyo stated that Ouhon at this point is already among the top 5 best spear users in the Central Plains. His techniques, Dragon's Talent, a lethal spear technique used by advanced spear wielders and requires immense training as well as mastery of the spear to be used in combat. It relies on the manipulation of the spear by its wielder to change the trajectory of the blow at will. Another is Shadow Dragon's Talent, a variation of Dragon's Talent. Its purpose is to kill an opponent that is behind the user's back with a quick stab without even looking at the target. The third is the Dragon's Nest, a spear technique that relies on the manipulation of the spear by its wielder to create the multiple directional attack, making it seem like several spears striking at once. His immense strength, while appearing to be slender, Ouhon is actually a walking powerhouse due to his constant spear training. His strength is higher than Shin's, as he sent him flying with a reverse thrust from his spear during their first meeting, and blew away an entire battalion of Wei soldiers with pinpoint hits to their vitals during the Sanyo campaign. He also was able to blow away the physically powerful Koyoku with his spear thrust while saving Moten. And since becoming 4,000-man commander, he has only grown stronger as he easily knocked away Shin's heavy glaive strike with one hand during their reunion bout. At the time of battle at Shukai Plains, his attacks were already said to be close to Earl Shi in terms of destructive power, as he was able to hard press Zhao General Bananji with his attacks. His immense endurance, Ouhon also demonstrated impressive willpower that allowed him to fight even with serious injuries. During Sanyo campaign, together with Shin, he challenged Rinko to a duel while still suffering from his earlier wound. Few years later, he was able to slay Great General Earl Shi while having a hole in his chest and multiple other injuries. And during the battle at Shukai Plains, just a day after he was in near-death state, he returned to the battlefield to slay General Gyun. and save his father during the pincer. Ouhon is a natural-born leader who is capable of inspiring his soldiers to a high degree. On some occasions, he was shown to rally his troops with a rousing speech before an important clash. During the battle at Shukai Plains after Ikoi became incapable of commanding, he became a prime candidate for the next wing commander. It was noted that if he took control of the wing, it would give a great boost of morale to Ikoi's army. Later, with a passionate speech, he was able to awaken his entire unit of hungry and tired soldiers to the point where they were able to push back the Chogeryu army, a feat that was directly compared to the 6 great generals. Ouhon's connection to his men is so strong that many of them like Banyo, Kanjo, or Kyokoi are ready to sacrifice their lives for his sake. Now let's talk about his tactical abilities. Ouhon has proven himself to be a capable strategist during the many battles he fought. His style is to use high-risk, high-reward warfare, as he often takes big gambles at the risk of exposing himself or part of his army. On many occasions, he aims for enemies' headquarters or their commander's head, and he is talented in figuring out solutions that are not obvious at first sight. During the siege of Koro City, he devised a plan to use a combination of smoke screen, a siege tower, ropes, and defensive formations to open the city gates. When faced against Genpo's smoke trap, he was able to quickly assess the situation, exterminating the sound teams around him, and rush out of the smoke to save Shin, a feat that highly impressed even Genpo. Most notably was his striking insight during the Chiyodo campaign, where he noticed a weakness in Gohome's defensive formation and created a successful strategy that dictated the battle plan of the overall battlefield. He also convinced General To not to call for General Ozen, who was stationed north of them, for more reinforcements, which would result in an attack from the Zhao, which would have thrown Quin's whole eastern front into disarray. And as his view of the battlefield continues to grow, he was able to come up with a counterattack plan while being pincered by 2 armies of Chogeryu and Gakue. By having Banyu lead most of the Gyokuhoi away, while he led a detachment comprised up to 700 cavalry to attack the edges of the Banaji army's formation. This resulted in its collapse during the second day of the battle at Shukai Plains. After becoming a general, Ouhon's tactics have evolved even further. During the Battle of Ikkyu, after some probing, he discovered the weak spot in the fort's defenses and gave the plan to Rishin. In addition, he sent Akakin and his unit to pincer the Zhao forces from behind in a crucial moment. This enabled Haishin army to capture the fort, something that they themselves considered impossible without his help. That is all for the overview. Comment your thoughts below on the video and make sure to support the channel by hitting the like button and the bell so you can be notified for future videos.